welcome back to Behind the Print podcast, where we feature industry leaders and uncover the creative minds and their businesses within the world of professional printing. Our mission is to provide you with inspiring, actionable resources that elevate your business projects and accelerate your journey to excellence in profit and print. Today's episode is Photojournalism Meets Public Information, and I'm here with current Public Information Officer from Okaloosa County in beautiful Northwest Florida, Nick Tomecek.
Hi, Zoe. How's it going? Good to see you.
Good. I'm so glad to have you on the podcast. How's your day been?
So far, so good. Just another beautiful day in Northwest Florida here in Destin Fort Walton Beach, and it's a PIO beautiful day. So,
Sounds amazing. Sounds like you need to get out to the beach.
yeah, indeed.
So, Nick, can you start by sharing a bit about your career from journalism to public information?
Yeah, so I started out in photography in Kentucky and fell in love with photojournalism and wanted to work for newspapers specifically, and pursued that career and went to college at the University of Kentucky and pursued a journalism degree and worked at the student newspaper as a young budding photographer and created images with film then at that time, and worked around and started enjoying the journalism part of telling people's stories with images. And I got the bug for that, and then worked my way up through a number of different newspapers around the country. I did some freelance work, and then I decided I wanted to live and work in Florida. So I applied to as many newspapers as I could in Florida, and I ended up here in beautiful Destin Fort Walton Beach in Okaloosa County, and started work for a newspaper here for about 20 years. And worked with, if you stay at a newspaper long enough, they're going to promote you to a boss. And so I became an editor for digital content and did that for a little while, and felt like I was reaching the end of my journalism career, and saw an opportunity working for the county government and public information. I'm doing the same thing, taking photos, but promoting the county and delivering information to folks. And that's where I am today. And we don't do it all by ourselves. I do have some help with creating content. And so I surrounded myself with like-minded photographic folks, and we tell the story of the county now as opposed to the entire news media audience.
That is so exciting. I love how you have a team that's all working on it together. That sounds so fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's your role like as a public information officer day to day?
So day to day, so public information, the responsibilities are in the name. We inform the public. And so what we inform the public about, it's what their county government is doing, what their taxpayer dollars are doing. So we inform the citizens, the residents and visitors of Okaloosa County what we're doing, all the different departments that we have, from water and sewer to public works to even the library co-op. We let folks know about those things. Sometimes they don't even know that they exist. And so using social media, traditional press releases, we write a lot of press releases. We go to county government meetings too, some of those boring things that people don't like to go to. We make sure that we're able to get those meetings out to folks and keep them informed. One of the big things that we do here, especially in Northwest Florida, is hurricane and storm preparation. So June 1st starts the Atlantic hurricane season, and here on the Gulf, we do see a certain amount of activity. And so getting information out to prepare people for those kinds of emergencies is a vital part of what public information officer here does. And then also during a storm, before, during, and after a storm, public information is one of those key things. That's what people want. They're starved for that information when they're going through a disaster, and the more information they have, the better mentally they're going to feel and the better they're going to recover from those kinds of emergencies. So we also work with our elected officials. So we have 5 elected county commissioners, all of them with their different personalities, but we're very lucky here in Okaloosa County that we have a group of elected officials that actually do work together and along with the staff, and we accomplish goals and get things done as opposed to how things might go in other parts of government around the world, I guess.
That's really important work that you guys are doing, and I love that you do it as a team. That's really important.
Absolutely. No, you got to have a village, as they say.
For sure. And you had mentioned some of the more boring topics that people not necessarily are looking at or searching for. How do you keep those types of topics really informative and interesting to keep your audience engaged?
One of the big things is photos and videos. So, when you're scrolling on social media, you're not looking at you don't want to read a wall of words. So a picture really does say 1,000 different things. And so to grab the audience and let them know what we're doing using our skills as photographers, using our skills as communicators. Writing is also a big part of it, and you don't want to just necessarily always just state the facts, especially on social media. People want something a little bit lighter usually, something that's going to grab their attention. I'm not here to cause controversy or get anything, make things explode to get you to click on things. I'm here to inform you, but I want to do it in a fun way, and I want to make sure that you are engaged with your local government by looking at all those awesome visuals that we're able to create.
Yeah, for sure. Because looking at your local government is super important and it can be super boring when you're looking through those things. So, videos, photos, I agree with you. That's part of the things that keep me involved when I'm looking through the news, too.
Absolutely. We feel like we're a necessary part of government. You wouldn't think. When I tell my parents that I'm a PIO, they're like, "What's that again, Nick?" As like, "That's a public information officer." Well, what does that do? Do you have a badge? No, I don't have a badge. So it's a lot of informing people about the government, trying to make it digestible, that content, and the visuals is number one. So, and we do that both digitally and in print. And I ended my journalism career in digital media, but as a PIO, I'm finding that a lot of people do like the print products as well.
Right. And to bring it back to print, I've seen your prints. I've seen many of them, but one of my favorite ones was the hurricane preparation booklet that you created. What do you guys exactly use print for?
So people actually do like the printed product they like their hurricane guides. So we distribute those out using our libraries as well as our administrative offices. And then we have a hurricane preparedness expo coming up. We call it Florida's greatest hurricane preparedness party, and we'll pass those out there. And it has just important phone numbers on it. It's got what to do if you're going to evacuate, what are the evacuation places, where are the shelters. So those go out there, and they're small enough too that people can carry them with them. They can throw them in their hurricane box if they need something. Because sometimes, electricity, their communications may fail, and it's if you want something that has some information on it, you can find it in that little booklet. So that's one of the things that we do every year. And so we'll update that. We'll try to find some new images and new covers, and then send it to you guys at Printing Center USA to help print our design and so we can get it distributed.
Of course. Well, I love the design. It looks amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. And are there any projects or campaigns where print really helped amplify your message or create better engagement in the past?
So calendars, we started doing that a couple of years ago. The public really like it. And so when you have a talented staff of photographers, you get great images, and people like to look at great images on their calendars. So we have at least three, I would say, accomplished photographers that produce some really quality images and put those in the calendars, and they're free. And so people like free too. And there are generally nature photos in there because we live in a beautiful part of the country. We not only have the beaches, but on the northern part that's near Alabama. And so you have a lot of wooded areas too. So I like to tell people we have just about everything here in Northwest Florida that you could want in the environment, except for snow and mountains, which, I miss the mountains sometimes, but, I don't miss the snow necessarily all the time. So we help promote our area that way. We help let people know too that with that print product that they live in a pretty area too, and they get to experience all that stuff that we as photographers are showing them. So that's one way that print does it. Another product that we produce is an annual report. Annual reports are one of those governmenty things that are usually necessary and administrators like to have, and it describes all the different departments within the county. And so again, just like a theme here, we try to use vibrant visuals and design techniques to keep people informed, let people know what's going on. And we also have parks guides. It's a physical printed product that we have and distribute those. So there's different audiences of folks that like the printed product, other folks like the digital, but it's a nice combination of all those things that help us do our job over here.
For sure. And I love your guys' calendar. I especially love the April month with the rainbow going over the island through the middle and the octopus in August where it's
Yes.
just a little octopus guy in his hands. He's holding him underwater. That is so cute. I love it. I was like, I need to make a mock-up of this. So you'll see those mock-ups later.
Oh, great, great. Yeah. So we have we have a coastal team of marine biologists and they do a lot of diving. So one of the members of that team, he took that picture of the octopus. A lot of times people they like to say they love dolphins and sea turtles around here. Who doesn't like that? But he gets a little annoyed by that love for those sea critters. And so he loves octopi, right? He likes those. So I thought that photo was really cool too. And then
Yeah.
the rainbow was taken by a member of the tourism team as well. His office is right there where that island is. And so he just popped his drone up there and grabbed that rainbow. So yeah, those two. And then the land-based stuff, me and another gentleman on our team, Ed Vinson, we take a lot of those photographs that you'll see in there too.
How exciting. That's so fun. I love that story. That's just super, super cool. So then you said the calendar is free. Do you guys do any fundraising for that? Or how do you guys make that work?
So the calendars the past couple of years have been funded by our airports department. So our airport is what's called an enterprise fund, meaning they raise their own money. Our tourism department does the same. So tourism is anytime you come down here, if you stay at a short-term rental or a hotel, you're paying an additional tax to help promote tourism. That tax helps fund other tourism related activities, just like the airports. When you fly in somewhere, those airlines are charging you a very nominal fee to use the actual airport facility. And then that airport uses that funding to keep the operations going. And they have a savings and some budget for some promotional activities. And they helped fund our calendar to help distribute to our residents here.
That's really exciting. How fun. So, what's been just the most meaningful moment in your career or something that stood out to you as this is why I do this?
I feel like even though we're public information, it's not anything necessarily sticks out, but it's good customer service. Seeing the impact we're able to have on the community when somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, great photo," just like you did, Zoe, with some of the great photo, really enjoyed that, or wow, what a great video that you guys made that I saw the other day. You guys are really doing a great job, especially in the public information world. If you're able to make people smile while also keeping them informed, that's really something special for me. And it takes, some of the more boring governmenty thing that we're talking about. It really elevates that to the level of feeling like you're doing some good for the public and making the world a better place, one person at a time. So,
I agree totally. Keeping them informed in engaging, fun way.
yeah, absolutely.
What do you think small businesses or other creatives can learn from public communication strategies?
Well, a lot. So you're in marketing. So a lot of folks that do marketing are always trying to keep up with the newest trends and the different things on social media and the strategies that you can implement on getting your brand out, telling your story. Everybody has a story, as you know. And so telling that story in a way that invites people to learn about it, invites people to experience with you the things that you're doing. And even if it's more general information and that sort of thing, you're still able to keep people engaged. So some of those local businesses can follow the same techniques and strategies that we use in public information to get their word out. Use that social media, see what the kids are watching, as they say, and implement those tactics and those strategies, and you're going to gain an audience every time. Be consistent, keep it visual, keep it engaged, and you're gonna get your word out, and people are going to learn all about you.
I love that. That's amazing advice for any business out there.
Absolutely.
So, what would your ideal no responsibility day look like if you could totally unplug from work?
So I like to spend my time in the outdoors. In 2004, my brother and I, we walked from Georgia to Maine on the Appalachian Trail. And so backpacking is a big thing for me. So outdoors camping. Just recently, before the weather started getting warm here, because we're in the 80s now, I went camping just by myself, went out, took my kayak, paddled around a pond, actually caught a fish this time. Don't usually catch a lot of fish. I'm not a good fisherman. So camping, just spending time, and one of my favorite things is just listening to the wind blow through the long leaf pine needles and just relaxing, chilling out, and eating. I like to cook and eat too. So eating, camping, cooking, and not really doing anything. And then at home, when I'm in society, I love to watch reruns of Law and Order, the old school Law and Order. They're always going on. There's so many. So that's how I spend my time. And then being a dad is probably the best thing ever. I got a 12-year-old now, and he's involved in scouts, and sometimes he goes camping with me, but he's 12 and he likes to play video games too. So I have a very happy and full life. I don't get sad very often.
Amazing. I love to hear it. That sounds like just an amazing free time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm glad you asked that question. It helps me remember how good I got it.
For sure.
So,
You got to ground yourself sometimes and remember what the great things are so that some of the harder choices that you make aren't so hard.
absolutely. Yeah.
So my CSR told me that you love our theme song. Is this true?
Yeah, so actually before I jumped on this call with you, Zoe, I called you guys up and I was hoping nobody would answer quickly, but you guys actually have really good customer service. So I wasn't on hold long enough, and I told the lady, I said, "Hey, can you put me on hold just so I can listen to your hold music?" She gave me the hold music, the song. Sing it for me, Zoe. How does it go?
Get online, print your D's
Pick your D's on. Yeah, yeah, it's good.
no time. Yeah, I just had to ask because they were like, "Oh, he loves our hold music," and it's funny because you're not the first person who asks. Yeah, hello, this is Spring Center USA. Yeah, can you put me on hold so I can listen to your hold music? Oh, of course, hold.
It's great. No, it really is good. I mean, when you have to be put on hold, you want to listen to something. I don't know. I think it's great. I don't get that with any other company. So
That's
thanks,
awesome.
thanks, Printing Center USA.
I'm gonna have to. So, where can people follow your work or connect with Okaloosa County online?
We are on most of the social media. County government's not allowed to use TikTok, unfortunately, but we're on Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn. So all of those. Facebook is still probably one of our more popular options we have a little bit of an older audience, but Facebook and Instagram are our top two. So, and on Instagram, it's Okaloosa County FL and Okaloosa, I think just straight up facebook.com/Okaloosa County. And you can find all the great content that we talked about there. So thank you for helping promote that, Zoe.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for being on the show.
Okay. Outstanding. All right.
Yeah, so you guys heard him. Check him out on Facebook at Okaloosa County and on Instagram at Okaloosa County FL. But that's a wrap on another episode of Behind the Print podcast. Thanks to our listeners for joining us as we've explored the artistry and innovation of the printing world. Remember, having a strong vision, building the right strategy, and using tools like print to amplify your message will make your brand stand out from the crowd. If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to get your free sample pack today from printingcenterusa.com and share it with your fellow business enthusiasts. Until next time, keep those creative sparks flying, and remember, there's always more to discover behind the print.